live.
Welcome back.
And like professionals, we check the audio levels and everything.
Test, test. I
Right.
see green bars. That's a
Sweet.
good sign.
Yeah, that's the best sign. Uh, and we got 7 topics, which is a good number to have on topics.
Yes.
We definitely won't
Not
be
too
hitting.
many, but it's enough.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
it definitely will be.
We went like 20 minutes over last week.
So we got apparently Sony is dominating the console market.
Yeah.
Is
Hopefully
that
you
it?
haven't looked at that.
I have not looked at it yet.
Cool.
I did pull it up, but there's no bar graph or pie chart or like.
All right. In that
sales
case, you
numbers.
didn't pull it up.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
It's right
so,
at the top of the screen.
No, man, it's like that.
Okay. I guess I just have the 4K monitor.
Yeah, you have a 4K monitor. uh, I guess Sony would be on top if you don't include Xbox or Nintendo or Atari or.
We'll talk about that. That's
Right?
what you think. Continue on. We'll get there.
Face Unlock is broken for some users on the Pixel 4, so it's a good thing I did not go with the Pixel 4.
Yep.
Ooh,
Real talk, would you actually use Face Unlock?
yeah.
Oh, actually you would? Okay.
I had it enabled on my other phone. On this phone, I didn't. I never set
Don't
it
have the
up.
option. Yeah.
I don't even know how I have the option. Honestly, I just never set it up.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, you get the other topics. I want to find out if I can real fast.
We've got Pokemon is so easy, a fish can beat the game. Apple Watch might be able to help people with PTSD nightmares. The FDA just approved an application for the Apple Watch, so we'll talk about that. Microsoft is working on better integration with Android phones, and it's starting to show.
My
You just try and use Face Unlock?
No, my top option is face recognition. I don't have a face
Oh.
registered.
Gotcha.
It never worked out right.
Amazon Echo wants you to buy.
It's
just
buying
in time for
season.
Christmas.
Right?
It really is. And a week or two ago, we talked about a list of gifts for techie people, and we weren't big fans of the list, but this week we have a slightly better, but still not great list of things you might want to buy for your techie friends.
I think it's a great option on
Mhm.
how it works. I just don't think it's enough. I think that they are.
Enough variety.
Yeah, I think they cut the variety off too soon, which is
Gotcha.
exactly almost the opposite what the other one had, where they were like, "Here's everything you need to know,"
Okay, gotcha.
and everything you need to know about the console market is our first topic.
Yes, so when you were kind of introducing this title, you said Sony might be on top if you don't consider Xbox, Nintendo, etc.
Man, I just read the second paragraph where they say mobile and PC, and now I'm thinking that they can't be the biggest in comparison to mobile gaming. Mobile gaming
What do you mean?
has to be the biggest market.
But this is talking about console gaming.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. It's in the title. So
Got me.
when I first read this or looked at this chart, I was kind of surprised. I had expected Xbox to be, way up there too, and Wii to be way up there, or Nintendo
Yeah,
to be way up
Nintendo.
there. Not Wii. And it seems like you had that same thought process because you said, Sony might be on top
Yeah.
if you don't consider Xbox.
If you don't
and
consider their
Nintendo.
competitors.
But if you scroll down a little bit, you can see the chart.
Wow.
And
Whoa.
yeah,
Okay.
so that's the PlayStation 2 way up at the top. And notice you don't even see the Xbox at all on this list. So these are the top estimated sales of console units, basically, I guess, forever.
So I'll
And
ask you
Xbox didn't even make the list.
the question that you don't know the answer to.
I might know the answer to it.
Are these figures
shoot.
rounded for current day currency? Because they have the Sega Genesis, which came out before either of us were born.
That's not considered because it's just counting the units,
Okay.
I believe. now that you say that, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, looking at the chart I pulled off Wikipedia, it does say units sold.
Ah,
And
okay.
the PlayStation
Oh, so
2
this
on
isn't
Wikipedia
dollars.
says no, it's actually units sold, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than I thought.
Yeah. I had expected Xbox to be way up there along with PlayStation. And you'll notice that Xbox 360 is kind of comparable to PlayStation 3. And those were the direct competitors, right? Those two consoles,
Yeah, yeah,
like the same time period.
yep. I believe so.
But then, I mean, PlayStation 2 is kind of competing with Xbox at the same time period too, right?
I think so. I had a PlayStation 2 way before Xbox One came out. I think PlayStation 2 is more
Okay.
Xbox.
Yeah, yeah. Did I say Xbox One? I meant just the original Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
So you see PlayStation 2 here, 157 million units sold. And I was curious that because Xbox, the original Xbox, wasn't on this list, I was like, man, that's very surprising that Xbox wouldn't be on the list. Maybe they made a mistake or something. So I Googled it, and Wikipedia shows that there were 24 million units of the original Xbox sold. So that's why it's not on the list. Yeah, 24 million versus 157 million for the PlayStation 2. That was pretty surprising to me.
So
And
if
you can go ahead.
if you consider a PC for people who buy PCs for gaming,
Hmm.
how much higher do you think they'd be on this? Do you think they would be higher? I think it would almost be devastating. And that's
I
not,
don't know. And the only reason I would think that that may not be true would be because PC gaming has kind of recently become more of a thing, right? I mean, I guess there's always been games on PC, but
I think
I think
since
PC gaming has grown in the past 3 or 4 years.
yeah,
And these numbers on this chart are from many years ago. Like the PlayStation 2 has been around for I don't know how long. I think 2001 or something.
yep.
Um,
And then Steam, which is like the gaming software everyone PC gamer
Mhm.
uses, initial release date September 12th, 2003.
okay.
So that would be about the PlayStation 2 time period, I believe.
Yeah. But I do feel like PC gaming has more recently grown and kind of become mainstream.
Yeah, definitely. Especially once you get like Twitch and YouTube live.
Yeah.
Speaking of, hit those live buttons. Professionals. No, that's astounding how much further Sony is ahead.
Yes. And then you can compare the Xbox One to the PlayStation 4 because those are kind of the current generation consoles. And I guess they're working on the next generation consoles that'll probably be released pretty soon. I don't follow consoles that much, but you can see Xbox One at 48 million and PlayStation 4 at 112 million, over twice as many units sold. And then I quickly Googled Steam active users to kind of get a
That's a
baseline of
Good
how many
baseline. Yeah.
PC gamers there are. And according to GameusUltra.com, in 2019, there were 95 million monthly active users. And that's just throughout 2019.
And just Steam.
And just Steam, yeah. So that number, like all the PC gamers total, would be pretty big. Probably bigger than any individual console. Maybe not bigger than PlayStation plus Xbox plus Nintendo combined, but you know, I don't have the statistics for that. Just kind of my guess.
You need to just ask every person, and then by the end of the week you'll know.
Well, we had election day, last week,
You could have
so
put it
we
on the
missed our
ballot.
opportunity. Yep.
Do you play games on the PC?
Do you play games on Xbox? Do you play
Right.
games on PlayStation?
You know, I think if Google did that with their Pixel 4, they wouldn't have such a hard time with face unlock. Apparently, the face unlock is broken for some Pixel 4 users, and it says
Yep.
again in parentheses, which has me curious.
Yes. I'm not sure when it broke originally, but it seems like it may be upgrading to Android 11 is the cause of this issue. And it seems to be somewhat caused by some inconsistent issue. And you can reboot your phone to resolve it, but it only resolves it for, say, a few hours or a few days. And it seems to be coming back. And the Pixel 4 doesn't have any other biometrics, doesn't have a fingerprint sensor or anything, so that could be
Oh,
inconvenient if you have a
That's
Pixel
super
4.
inconvenient.
But here's something that came to my mind when reading over this article. Face Unlock. Face Unlock is only really there for the convenience. It's not really a security thing
Yeah, definitely.
because there's always a pin for a backup. So this isn't necessarily a security issue that the Face Unlock isn't working, but it's just kind of inconvenient, which obviously it'd be better if they didn't have this issue, but
Right.
could be worse.
But what if you bought the phone because of the convenience of face unlock?
Yeah.
Like a
I
lot
can
of
definitely
Apple
see how-
users say that
Mhm.
they love their iPhone because of how good Apple's face unlock is.
Yeah.
If this happened to Apple, I think stores would be burned down.
Maybe so these days. I think my first phone, or my first smartphone, the Motorola X, I'm pretty sure it had Face Unlock too. Way back in the day. Probably, not way back in the day,
Yeah,
but 6 or 7 years ago.
relatively soon.
But I haven't really played with it since, so I'm not sure if my current phone has the option or what, but
Yeah, I had it enabled on my other phone. It works sometimes. It didn't work enough for it
Mhm.
to be worthwhile, so I never even set up
Gotcha.
on this phone.
yeah.
And honestly, it's so easy to just hit it with my thumb and it unlocks when I pick it up that I don't even need to look
Is
at
it the thumbprint sensor?
It's on the side up here.
Okay.
So I have like that finger registered,
Mhm.
and I have a lot of my fingers registered. Don't cut them off.
Well, don't cut them all off, at least.
Right.
As long as you've got one finger, you're good. Or as long as you know the pin.
No fingers.
Just have to tap it with your nose.
Or I could get
Or-
a fish to unlock it for me.
Yep.
It may only take the fish, what is it, 3,195 hours to unlock my phone, which is a continuous stream of 133 days if the homeschool maths work out right.
That's a long time. I hope it's not an important text you're trying to respond to.
It's a 24-hour expiration verification text.
Oh, you're in trouble.
So, I just saw this article. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
So there's a Twitch live stream that went straight for 3,195 hours, which is a rather long live stream.
Very long.
And they have a beta fish inside of a tank, and they have some type of camera that can track the beta fish because of the contrast, I would assume.
Hmm.
And then they have an overlay of the controls. I'm gonna jump in the video. So the red dot's where the beta fish is at. Let's do this one. So now you can see the beta fish here and the red dot's following it. And as it swims around, it swims over this grid layout that has like up arrows, left and right and down, and then A and B buttons.
Hmm.
And then I'm not quite sure how it picks when to hit a button. it may be set on just like a random timer, like every second or something.
Yeah.
I wasn't bothered to read the actual article.
Mm-hmm.
And then apparently it only took the fish 3,195 hours. And apparently, not really sure why, they switched the fish out every 12 hours to give the fish a break. So there's always a fish playing the game. But it says to keep the fish healthy, the fish were swapped out every 12 hours.
I mean, it's not like the fish is doing anything different than it normally would, right?
Okay, cool. I was making sure I wasn't missing something.
We might both be missing something, but
Because
so it's basically just like a random number generator, except it's a fish swimming around. In a way,
the
you know.
sound of it, yeah.
It's just randomly hitting the buttons.
But apparently that's something people wanted to watch.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I was reading the text, the last paragraph in that article, talking about Twitch Plays Pokemon, which is where the Twitch chat controlled a Pokemon player's movements and commands. And it said that there were people trying to disrupt that by pressing, or, you know, sending a chat message to press the start button. For a second, I thought it was that the Twitch chat could pause the game that the fish was playing in order to
Oh.
pause and resume to
Right.
control the fish's button clicks, but that was a different
Okay.
thing. Speaking of a different thing,
This is super cool. Once again, Apple is in the news as a good guy. Specifically, their Apple Watch department.
mm-hmm.
I don't know why they can't get those guys over there in their iPhone department. Get them in their headquarters or something. The FDA, which is an acronym, clears Apple Watch.
The Food and Drug Administration.
Thank you. Clears
Which is interesting. The Food and Drug Administration has say over an Apple Watch application, but it does, apparently.
Right. Imagine wanting to go to work at the FDA to like better people's life or make sure that people stay healthy, and then you're sitting there having to verify an app. And you're like, no, I'm not technology. But apparently they cleared an Apple Watch that helps treat PTSD related nightmares. I thought it was just super duper cool until I read what the app actually does, and I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's not always about the technology as much as it is about how you use it.
Mm-hmm.
So from my very limited understanding of this app is you wear the watch while you sleep and the app's running, and it can use the smartwatch motion and heart rate data to detect when you're having a nightmare. So I assume people move around and their heart races when they're having a bad dream. Haven't watched enough people sleep to know. And it vibrates the wristwear in response. And at first, my first instinct was like, oh, so it just like wakes you up. And then they go and purposely say, arousing but not waking you to interrupt bad dreams and maintain sleep.
Okay. So it's almost like it's breaking you out of that trance,
Yeah, almost like
but not fully waking you
yeah,
up.
like if my phone buzzed right now, I would stop mid-sentence. It would like interrupt my train of thought.
Yeah.
I think this is the same idea, which is weird that we think the same way in PTSD nightmares as we do in a normal conversation. I wonder if part of the vibrating is because we're so used to phone vibrations that if you put it with a kid that's not allowed to have a phone or electronics or something, or you put it with, you know, just someone who's not with the technology trend,
and
you gave it to them, I wonder if they would also wake up through a vibration. or if that's something that we've just developed as a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Kind of,
clearly you would
yeah.
feel it, but it might be the same as someone tapping you.
Mm-hmm. It looks like this nightwear will be prescription only.
Really? I wonder why you couldn't use it if you wanted to. Like if I wanted to download an app that vibrated if my heart rate went to a certain rate, I don't feel like the FDA should be like, no.
I would tend to agree with you.
Now it's cool that it is approved in the sense that maybe it could have like a real use case instead of just
Mhm.
being like a toy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. I saw. I was like, "Oh, this must be super cool." And I realized, like, it just detects movement and heart rate, and if it senses them, it vibrates. So I wonder, on the other curious note on this Apple Watch,
Yes.
on the
Yes.
level of vibration, if it detects over time how much vibration is needed to get you out of the trance but not wake you up. Because if you have, like, even if you give, like, you know, the same 20-year-old
Mhm.
a little bit of vibration can wake him up if he knows in the morning he has to go to work or go to school or there's a big test or
Mhm.
something. Or if it's a Saturday morning and he's plastered, a different amount of vibration is going to get him out of a trance most likely.
Mhm.
I wonder if there's a way that the Apple Watch could read your blood alcohol level and then or like monitor, so it's like, oh, it's a Friday night, this dude's going to need more vibration to get him out of a trance, or if it just keeps vibrating to a certain point.
Yeah. Like, can it kind of learn your habits, or does it just increasingly vibrate more
And
strongly until it
like detects
knocks you out of
movement or
that
something.
state? Yeah.
As long as it doesn't vibrate until it stops detecting movement.
Yeah. Vibrates the life right out of you.
Right? Speaking of vibrating the life right out of you, our sponsors.
This video is sponsored by Jmart Media and
Nephew Tech.
hey,
My website still works.
my website should still work.
You should know because you post to it every week.
Funny.
Man, off topic.
Yep.
Since this time change, I'm still waking up an hour early every morning without an alarm. Being an adult is terrible. So like even now, like I've been drinking soda and caffeine every night to try to like
Yeah.
force myself
Stay
to
up
stay
later.
awake.
Mhm.
Yesterday, when I came home, I wanted to get in bed by 6:30. I was so tired.
Well, you had 2 long days.
Yeah, I managed to stay up till 8. I was like, all right, well, I'm done. Went to bed, woke up this morning, hour and a half before my alarm has to go off to wake up.
Man.
Come on. I cannot get this time change.
Wonder how long till the Apple Watch invents something to
force you to
fix that
stay
issue.
asleep.
Or awake.
Oh, okay. We're thinking different
Force
ways.
you to stay up later. Yeah.
Force me to stay asleep an hour. Speaking of forcing things, Microsoft.
Now, your phone can run multiple mobile apps on select Galaxy devices.
Which is kind of cool and kind of course it can, at the same time. So, Windows 10 has the connect your phone thingamajigger. I can actually pull it up. Let me double check my data isn't on there. Cool, so it's not on this computer. And so you can go into your settings and you can add a phone, and you can just
Okay.
add your cell phone to Windows 10. I do it at work. It's pretty great. But one of the downsides was like, it's like literally using your phone on the screen. So you just get like a phone screen on your computer monitor.
Okay.
But now with this new update, which is supported with all these Samsung Galaxy phones that I do not have, you can have multiple windows. So you have multiple Android apps open at once, which is fantastic if you're not already using Samsung DeX. I say that, I don't know if it's by Samsung. I think it is. Yeah, Samsung DeX mode. Which basically let you do this already. But it's good to see, in my opinion, that Windows is implementing it as a base feature. It's the same as when Windows 10 implemented, get the right wording here, that night mode, blue light filter. And then everyone stopped using that same blue light filter add-on.
Okay.
For Windows 7.
Instead of using the third-party tools,
Yep.
kind of going back to the, yeah.
And it's all built in to one pretty package. And it's good to see that your phone and your computer might start talking to each other more. It would be interesting to see in the future if instead of making more powerful phones, to make phones with bigger batteries that are less powerful and that just connect to whatever computer or laptop or device you have. So we can have phones that last all day.
So, not game streaming, but application streaming on your phone.
Correct.
Could use the processing power of a PC and just display the screen on your phone. That actually wouldn't surprise me. Although at the same time, with phone processors getting faster and faster and faster, it might make more sense to just stay that way, but we shall see.
Yeah, because a long time ago, for all those people that watch us that intensely, we were talking about the idea of getting rid of your desktop. I'm trying to widescreen. There we go. Getting rid of your desktop, and so you just carry a laptop around to like base stations. So like, oh, I have a base station in my house, and a gaming base station, and a work base station. And you just carry around this one laptop that just has a plug and everything connects, and it's magical.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen with the phone, if it keeps getting more powerful in that sense.
Yeah. In a way, what you just described with the carrying a laptop around is very similar to the idea behind a Chromebook. You know, just applications in the web. You can access them anywhere where you're logged into your Google account. And just kind of a very low-spec laptop that is light and portable and has everything you need on it. As long as you have an internet connection.
Right. And then that's exactly what Intel did with their Intel Nook mini PCs. Which is just that little tiny desktop with a bunch of ports on it.
Okay.
Adorable little computers.
Reminds me of a Raspberry Pi.
Except by Intel. That's really all.
Probably more expensive.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of more expensive, I saw this and I laughed so hard at everybody who uses the Amazon Echoes. Finally, there's a reason for me to be like, Exhibit 437 of why an Amazon smart home is a bad idea.
Yeah.
So, news.google.com just led me to CNBC. Apparently this is all about a Reddit article, and someone's just commenting on the Reddit article. But people are complaining that Amazon Echo keeps asking them if they want to buy stuff, and here's how to turn it off. So they go on to tell you how to turn it off. But this Reddit article, there might be language, I can't remember, says that when they were talking to him, they would go, Alexa, whoop, sorry guys, set an alarm. And then she would respond, okay, I've set an alarm. By the way, can I wake you up with, and then it will like advertise
A
something.
paid song or something.
Yeah. And then they would go, you know, uh, you know, Amazon device, answer this question. And she goes, okay, here's the answer. By the way, would you like me to? And then she would like ask to add something to cart or something, or would you like to look into this?
Okay.
And apparently that's not like the only person that's had that problem before.
Yeah, I can believe that.
So on the screen, there's how you turn it off if you want to disable Alexa suggesting you stuff. An easier way to get her to stop suggesting you stuff is to unplug it and throw it in the trash. But I think everybody at this point knows my feelings about smart homes.
Yeah. It was only a matter of time until they
Started
started
advertising.
using it to sell stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Soon they'll be free. They'll be giving them out for free and just for the advertising.
So, do you think eventually you'll have to have like subscription for the basic features? So, like, Alexa, set an alarm for 6:05 a.m. She goes, "All right, I've set an alarm for 6:05 a.m. and deducted 5 cents from your account." And then like an alarm, it's like every time you use it, it just deducts a little bit.
I don't think we can get to that point. I don't think that's possible.
You don't
But
think
you never know.
so? You don't watch the WAN show anymore, right?
Not recently.
So at one point, Linus was talking about how cars as a service was going to be a thing, and there'd be like multiple tiers, so no one will own a car anymore. You'd be like,
Okay.
I want to go to the store, and then you just like hail it, and might be like a fleet of cars for a neighborhood or for the city or
Okay.
something, and so you can hail one. It'll be here in 5 minutes. Like, that's a pretty good service for the majority of us. That, like
Yeah.
the difference between, like, I could see myself be like, I want to go somewhere, and just hailing a car, and it'd be 5 minutes, and it's here.
If it's convenient
Yeah, it makes
and
sense.
cheaper than owning a car, then yeah.
Yeah.
It
But
makes
then-
sense that it could take off.
Linus was talking about the idea that, but then there'll be tiers. So like I could have
Mhm.
like the premium music tier, so that gives more radio stations or the rock stations or something, and then it'd
Yeah.
be like the heated seats tier, and then the
Mhm.
air conditioning tier, and the powered
Mhm.
windows tier. Like some tiers might not be able to roll down their windows, or like your doors might not lock as one tier. Like there's a no
Whoa.
walking like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you only get certain features.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wonder if we get to that with smart homes, where it's like your smart home can't play whole house music unless you get the whole house music tier. So you play music in like each room at one at a time, but like to play music in 2 rooms at once would be a whole
Mhm.
house music tier or something. Then you'd be like, Amazon Cloud device, hail me a car. Oh, in order to be integrated with your car service features, you will need to sign up for this 5 cents per hail feature or whatever.
Yeah.
And it all becomes per use
Mm-hmm.
payments.
Yeah. I could see the car thing, except I feel like one of the tier distinctions would be priority. So if I'm
Oh.
platinum tier and you're silver tier and we both hail a car at the same time,
You'd get it.
I'd get it first. I feel like that may be an even bigger incentive to get a higher
Right.
tier than something like the music or
AC.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like where does it stop? And it never really
Yeah.
does, but yeah.
Because then it gets to like the points like, oh, I would rather you hail a car and then I
Mhm.
just Venmo you $2 for the ride or something. That
Mhm.
way we can
Yeah.
both have the AC platinum, whatever.
Yeah.
Or like your AC could go down to 64 degrees, but my AC only goes to 72. It'd be wild. Scary. It's a scary future that we're definitely heading into. Doesn't have to be scary though if you get into technology and you know about technology things. But for those who don't, this week,
Hopefully
The
you have a friend who
Verge.
does, and you can gift them these things to get on their good
Well,
side.
maybe not these in particular. That's the problem with this article.
Okay.
The Verge released their holiday gift guide for 2020. Make a hard year easier with these great gifts. And I like how it's by Verge staff. It's just like, ta-da! All the staff.
Yeah.
And so they made this cool little chart down here. You can select categories and price ranging. So then, if like I'm thinking about you, I would be like, MISC,
Mhm.
tech, gaming.
Under $20.
Yeah, right. I don't know if you're much of an audio book, maybe cameras, because a lot of stuff you
Mhm.
post.
Yeah.
Probably not clothing, maybe creatiners. Definitely fitness, man. Probably not home kitchen. You don't need another laptop. You probably don't want a wearable. I'd be like 50 and under. And then it shows a list of things that would fit that category, which is kind of cool until you
Yep.
see what like the actual devices are.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I selected kind of for myself tech, gaming, camera, fitness, under 20 and 20 to 50. And the options it gave me Chromecast with Google TV, Peloton subscription, some AirPods case. Yeah, nothing that I would actually be interested in.
Yeah, see, I was going down the list and I was like, all right, out of these things, like this micro
Mhm.
flashlight trash thing, not really sure. Chromecast with Google TV, that's a sensible gift.
Yes, it is.
Like, I personally don't want one, but I can understand that that's a thing a lot of people
Mhm.
like.
Yeah.
Filmic Pro app, I feel like that's super personalized to the point that chances are if they're making videos, they already have the software they want to. Like, they're not like, man, I
Yeah.
really wish I had this $15 piece of software.
Hmm.
That seems weird. And then there's like the blue AVS audio video capture card to USB that's under $20. Professional advice, don't buy a capture card under $20. It's going
Yeah.
to be trash. I've tried one and then I returned it to Amazon and I
Mhm.
bought a $200 card.
Yeah.
And like omnidirectional lav mic. Pretty much anyone that does audio video work owns a lav mic. Never hurts to own a second one. 26 is definitely the price range for a low end lav mic. That makes
Yeah.
fine sense. But like some of these are just weird, like Hades video game. An AirPods case. Like all these just don't make sense to me. So I think the execution has kind of the right idea, but
Mhm.
I think they were overly specific. But like I don't really know how to fix it besides like instead of showing like actual products, except for some of the basic things like Google Chromecast TV or Roku TV.
Mhm.
So they could have
Yeah.
said like streaming sticks such as, and then give I only know those two options: Apple
Chromecast,
TV.
Apple TV,
Yeah.
Roku, whatever, Amazon Fire Stick, I guess.
Yeah. And so then I would think like if you picked, I don't even know where that microphone fits in it. Not audio. So instead of showing like a lav mic, be like microphones, and then you can list 5 microphones and different price ranges for different
Mhm.
uses. Like if they use a microphone at their desk, if they use a microphone with their cell phone, if they use
Yeah.
a microphone with their fancy camera or whatever,
Mhm.
then that helps people sort of like, this is the type of microphone I think they want.
Mhm.
But then like Hades video game, they should have been like, here's a Steam gift card.
Yeah.
Chances are they will like a Steam gift card way more than they like a specific video game.
A specific game. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my only argument with this is that it's a overly specific.
Hmm.
Like, if someone gave me the Joseph garlic rocker, I'd have no idea what that is. I'd have to Google it. I don't even know what a garlic rocker does. So,
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as well.
I assume it's to crush the garlic. But like, I've never once crushed garlic in my life. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
seems
same
like
here.
they went to the uh, Verge staff and said,
Hmm.
share with us your Amazon wish list," and then they just put it all into one article.
And a lot of it's not even techie. Well, I guess it's not necessarily aimed at techie, but you can select categories that are techie. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Like some of
Okay.
these things, like the garlic rocker is not techie, but
Yeah, or the thank you smiley tote, or the Bloomsy box flower subscription. I really want to consider those under the techie
Mhm.
umbrella.
yeah.
But
I
like,
guess I always think of The Verge as a tech website, but I don't know.
right. And then tech people don't always want tech things coming from a tech
That's true.
guy.
Yeah.
Shockingly. Even though computers are about my entire life, so maybe we do. And man, we did all those topics in 40 minutes. It's like a record.
Yeah, about 42 or 43 minutes, right?
Yeah, we just hit 42 now.
Sweet. That'll even us out after last week's long.
How long was our stream last week?
I think it was an hour and 10 minutes. Maybe it was 2
Okay.
weeks ago.
I was supposed to say, I don't remember the stream being super long, but this is the second time you've mentioned it, so I'm like, maybe it was. Oh, it was an
Well-
hour and 6 minutes.
Oh, so not that long. 6 minutes over.
6 whole minutes. That makes up for those 20-minute weeks.
Yeah, right? The start of the pandemic was rough.
Oh man, sweet.
Well,
So
have a good week. We'll talk about it next week.
we're talking about all the things